I want to help midlife women. That's what Paula told me on her call. And I said, great, but which midlife women? Because here's the thing, there are millions of midlife women, and they all have different problems. Some are entrepreneurs building businesses. Some are empty nesters figuring out what's next. Some are career women navigating corporate politics. And some are heart-centered nurturers who have spent their whole lives taking care of everyone else and don't know how to take care of themselves. And that last one, that's Paula's pond. And today, I'm going to show you why narrowing your focus from midlife women to heart-centered nurturers is the difference between being invisible and being unforgettable. But before we dive in, I want to let you know if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to give you something special. It's a free tool that will help you discover your only statement in under 8 minutes. You'll answer 8 questions and you'll discover what makes you unforgettable in your market. Plus, I'm going to show you how to book a free 15-minute call with me where you'll get a complete deliverable with your only statement, personalized action items, and more. Spots are filling up fast, so make sure you watch to the end. So on Monday, we talked about Asaf, the shark in the pond, and Ben, the triple threat. This week, or today, we're going to talk about Paula and how she narrowed her focus by getting more specific about who she serves. Because here's what happens to most entrepreneurs. You know your general audience. I help women. I help business owners. I help leaders, but that's not specific enough. For 22 years in Hollywood, I worked on shows like 60 Days In, Intervention, and Accused, Guilty, or Innocent. And you know what made those shows successful? They didn't try to be for everyone. They narrowed their focus to a very specific type of person. 60 Days In wasn't for everyone who cares about the criminal justice system, but it was for people who wanted to see what really happens inside jail. An Intervention wasn't for everyone who cares about addiction. It was for people who wanted to see families fight for their loved ones. That specificity is what made them unforgettable. And that's exactly what Paula did. So let me tell you about Paula. She's a midlife reinvention mentor. She helps women in their 40s, 50s, 60s who are feeling stuck, lost, or unfulfilled. She created the Wealth of Wow brand system, and she's building digital courses and a community. And when she came to me, she said, Brad, I want to help midlife women, but there are so many people doing that. How do I stand out? And I said, Paula, you don't stand out by being better. You stand out by being more specific, the only. So I asked her, which midlife women do you want to help? And she said, I want to help women who have nurtured everyone else their whole lives. Women who have taken care of their kids, their husbands, their aging parents. Women who have poured love into everyone around them, but don't know how to pour it back into themselves. I said, perfect. That's your pond. Because here's the thing, there are millions of midlife women, but not all of them are heart-centered nurturers. Not all of them have spent their whole lives taking care of everyone else. Not all of them feel like they've lost themselves in the process. But the ones they do, they're Paula's people. And when you narrow your focus like that, you stop competing with every other midlife coach. You start dominating your pond. So I asked Paula, what do these women need? And she said, they need permission to take care of themselves. They need to reclaim their joy, their confidence, their purpose. They need to pour back the love they've so generously given to others. I said, perfect. That's your message, because here's the thing. Most midlife coaches talk about finding yourself or reinventing your life. But Paula's message is different. She's not talking to women who want to climb the corporate ladder or start a business or travel the world. She's talking to women who just want to feel like themselves again. Women who want to remember what brings them joy. Women who want to stop feeling guilty for taking care of themselves. That's a very specific message for a very specific type of women. And when you narrow your focus like that, you become the only. This is the second letter in the only framework, narrow your focus. But narrowing your focus isn't just about picking a niche. It's about picking more specific. It's about getting more specific about the psychographics of your audience. Paula didn't just narrow her focus to midlife women, she narrowed her focus to heart-centered nurturers who have spent their whole lives taking care of everyone else and don't know how to take care of themselves. That's a pond. And when you narrow your focus like that, you stop competing with every other midlife coach and you start dominating your pond. So here's the question I want to ask yourself. What's the psychographics of your audience? It's not just demographics, which are age, gender, and location. It's psychographics. What are the values, the beliefs, the behaviors, the pain points? For Paula, it's heart-centered. They lead with love. Nurturers, they take care of everyone else. Midlife, 40s, 50s, or 60s, and they lost themselves. They don't know how to take care of themselves. That's her pond. And for you, it might be couples contemplating marriage who need financial help, like Ben. Real estate investors in Albany who rent to college students, like Asaf. People in their 50s or 60s who want to fund their passions without monetizing them. That psychographic is where you become the only. Here's what I told Paula on our call. Don't try to help all midlife women. Help the ones who are heart-centered nurturers, because that's where you become the only, not the best. And that's what I want you to understand today. You don't need to broaden your audience. You need to narrow your focus. Specific is unforgettable. General is invisible. When you try to help everyone, you become important to no one. But when you narrow your focus to the psychographics of your audience, you become the only. That's the $2 bill. We talked about Asaf, his geographic focus, and Ben, client type focus. And today we talked about Paula, the psychographic focus. Here's how they all demonstrate narrow your focus. Asaf narrowed his focus geographically. Ben narrowed his focus by client type. And Paula narrowed her focus by psychographics. All three stopped competing and started dominating. That's the power of narrowing your focus. So here's what I want you to do. Go to findyouronly.app. That's findyouronly.app. Answer 8 questions. Takes under 8 minutes, and you're going to get your only statement. Then after the only statement, you will have the opportunity to book a free 15-minute call with me. It's free. It's not going to be free in the future, but it's free right now. And here's what you're going to get on the call. It's not just 15 minutes of conversation. You get a complete deliverable with your only statement, personalized action items, and more after the call, because we're going to dive into your story. We're going to refine your only statement together. We'll figure out the psychographics of your audience, and we'll make sure you're positioned as the only, not the best. Spots are really filling up fast. Yesterday, I had so many people sign up, so do it. Don't wait. Go to findyouronly.app now. That's findyouronly.app now. You're going to discover your only statement. You're going to book your call, and let's figure out your pond. Because you don't need to broaden your audience. You just need to narrow your focus. Be the only. Be the $2 bill.